Today, we're doing the first part of our new studio tour, and instead of focusing on the space, we're gonna show off the accessories we use, because it's only fitting. So, let's check it out. Starting with the main set, we keep it pretty simple. We use this tiny Home Depot table with some wireless monitors so I can see the action, and this overkill overhead rig that we can pull in and out so it doesn't get in the way. But this is only about 10% of the whole studio space. Thankfully, Eufy was awesome enough to partner on this video so we can show you the rest. And look, before you then comment it, I agree. Vacuums are not the sexiest products to talk about, but they do really suck. Pause for laughter. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm no vacuum expert, but from the few times that I did clean up, this sounds super useful. So unboxing the Eufy X8 Pro robot vacuum, the first thing you'll find is how the setup seems fairly self-explanatory. Power cord, docking station, the actual vacuum, and the optional mop thingy. Very soft. Plug it in, set it down, put it in place. That's it. So here are 5 reasons that you might need this in your own space, outside of just how lazy you are to clean yourself. First, what really matters is how well it performs. Unlike other vacuums that struggle to suck up hair and dust deep within carpets, the X8 Pro's twin turbine offers 80% more airflow and 1.8 times better cleaning performance, which really shows in my instant coffee test, cleaning up even the tiniest of grains after just a few passes. Second, combined with their active detangling roller brush, this solves what most robotic vacuum brushes struggle with: pet hair. Mainly thanks to the combo of bristles and rubber brushes that are built in. Unlike others that may only use the rubber alone, this combo offers more power and prevents tangling as well. The roller brush will automatically reverse into the comb to detangle hair on the fly. And they've tested it to detangle 99.7% of hair compared to the 10% that others are only able to achieve, which they also claim can go deep and suck up 97% of your furry friend's hair hidden inside carpets. Third, it has iPath laser navigation, which the only word that matters there is lasers. You can't visibly see it in action, but my night vision security camera shows you exactly what it's doing as it's learning its environment. Pair it with the app though, and you can also see, well, what it sees. And once it's done scanning, it will be able to use this map to clean even in the dark. Fourth, when it's actually done cleaning your mess, you can tap this to auto-magically empty its dump truck load into the dock, or schedule it to do so itself. But it's able to store up to 45 days worth of dust and debris, so you don't have to constantly be reminded about how dirty you really are. Fifth, and probably the coolest, for the messy eaters out there, it comes with an optional wet mop pad, which when you fill the water tank and can even add your own cleaner, and thanks to its Boost IQ, basically its built-in brains, it will recognize the difference between hard floor and carpets, so it doesn't get anything wet that's meant to stay dry. Plus, bonus feature, it knows its own way home too, which I can't always say the same for you. So if you are interested in funding the robots taking over the world, or at least doing the jobs that I don't want to do, links in the description down below, but for now, let me show you what else we use in the studio. So taking a closer look at the set, what you see for 99% of the shots, we're huge fans of Machine56 and have copped several of them ourselves. Super limited, super expensive, but oh so cool. And they're half mast too, which this one is what started it all for me. One of my favorites definitely has to go to the Full X, because I can't afford a real Rolex, but it's basically like having one. Some other notable mentions is the only plant that we can keep alive. Don't worry, links to everything we shared down below if it's still available, unlike this decked out Nike Bear brick, which was super limited. And my most prized possession, a custom trophy my girlfriend made me when we hit 50,000 subs, which is really all thanks to you for watching this foolishness. A lot of our lighting comes from Govee, like this light stand that has a controller to change colors. Although it's meant to bounce off a wall, but it also makes for a cool looking lightsaber vibe too. We're also a huge fan of the strip lights because of how flexible they are, which are technically meant to be mounted on a wall, but the whole messy look of it hanging off the shelf is totally our vibe as well. Otherwise, it's just an accumulation of all the cool gadgets and toys that we like to show off, like this blackout duck. HYPEBROTHER helmets have also been a channel favorite when we've shared them as well, along with a hint of our past obsession for Iron Man. Then there's these hat pulls that we bought off Nordstrom that make for a great helmet stand too. Doodle break. This is the lunchroom / entertainment area. And this is the transforming table. One of my favorite tables because, as the name suggests, it can transform. Let me show you. Now, it does take a little bit of work, but being able to host large groups of people or simply tear it down comes super clutch when we need the space to shoot. Down to this. It also forces our team to connect on a deeper level. Probably the most expensive toy we've purchased. The screen itself is worth it alone because it looks like it's from the future. But it's got built-in turn signals and even a high beam as well. It's got several different modes, including a race mode, which goes up to 70 kilometers an hour, and a twist throttle, so it feels like you're riding a real motorcycle. Remember, safety first. I bought this the moment it was available in Canada, and we've had it for about a year, and everyone who rides it wants one until I tell them the price. This was 6,000 Canadian dollars, which, as much as I don't regret a penny of it, isn't something I think y'all care to know about, so we never really shared it until now. Links down below. Just kidding. Not really. It's actually linked. But that's why we don't take it out that often. It's heavy AF. The first thing I wanted when we moved in was a bag wall, and we did it. We screwed in some brackets into the cement wall and used this 1-inch metal piping, which was probably a little overkill. But the goal was, we just wanted to show off all our bags. Comment down below if you want a bag collection video. Basically, I wanted it to feel like a clothing store that you'd sift through and pick out the perfect bag on the spot. Some of my favorite brands include AER, over here, Bellroy, and this Machine56 bag, which just looks wild. However, we have a giant storage problem, so I had my dad custom build this shelf so it can carry all this tiny EDC gear that won't fit in bins. My card collection, obviously, our tool collection, and our pen collection too. And then we have our gear wall. We got our wire racks for all our supplies because painter's tape is life. We got some random tools and black balls, aka bongo ties. We got plenty of clamps because we never know what we're dealing with. Our device tray to store all our phones, and our jerry-rigged battery station. A secondary shout out to Fanttik as the secondary sponsor, so we can actually afford to keep the lights on, but also because we actually use their products every third day of the week. However, they sent over their new Next E1 Max screwdriver, so my team can stop taking my personal set to use. And like the other models though, it's built into a metal case with a spring-loaded eject method, and of course, the main tool itself, which is similar to the other model we've tested, but now with 50 bits to choose from. So we'll never not have the right tool to take something apart. And to top it off, an LED ring light too, which surprisingly comes in handy when dealing with those deep, dark black holes that some electronics like to use. They've included some very useful additions like a magnetizer, super clutch when dealing with those tiny screws, and you've got fingers for days. Plus, with its high torque mode, it can at the very least get things moving, so you can save your forearm strength for when you're alone at night. The bits are stored magnetically, and there's something super satisfying about seeing it put back all in place, especially with the additional tools like their double-sided pry and tweezers too. Now, it's almost unfortunate you have to tuck it away given how wicked it is to display, but it is USB-C rechargeable that's rated for 400 screws, something you can only wish to achieve one day, but otherwise, details and links down below. And that's the gear wall, which is only about 30% complete. And as you can tell, we actually like eufy here. Yeah. The quality is surprisingly good, and they're wireless too, so you can basically mount them anywhere. That's it for part 1, but let me know down below if you want a part 2 and to find out what's inside there. But that's it. I rest my studio.